That's because like I didn't care about it, you know, like my focus was obviously on the music. So it was like whatever I could do to like make the music work, like I would sacrifice the job, you know?
I feel you. I do the same shit. This is the Behind the Sound podcast where we talk to producers, engineers, artists, and other creatives alike. Hosted by Sean Gray and Mamek. All right, Spitty, welcome to Behind the Sound podcast. It's a pleasure to meet you and get you on here, bro.
Jeez, yeah, likewise. Appreciate y'all getting me out here. Studio looks sick, yeah. Mad like regal. Like a king up here.
Have you been here before?
Nah, I've never been here. To be honest, looked mad ominous from the outside.
The black building.
There's like all the storefronts, and then you just pull up here, there's nothing.
Yeah.
But then you come up 3 flights of stairs, get your workout in, and it's pretty blessed.
Bro, those stairs get me every time.
That second floor got me, bro. It's like almost there. That was a teaser right there. That was a straight teaser.
Because you see the branding on the second floor. And then
you're there, and then it says...
No, third floor. One
more. That last flight felt like it was the longest one, yeah?
Yeah. Dope. But yeah, this is the Behind the Sounds podcast. Thank you for coming on. We'll just introduce ourselves real quick. I'm Mamek.
Yeah, Gravy, Sean Gray.
Yes, sir.
Introduce yourself. Tell
My name's Spitty, rapper straight out of Brampton, you know, lyricist, songwriter.
Dope.
Extraordinaire.
Dope. So tell us, I want to like dive like straight into it. Like I love to ask this question. So like what was like life growing up for you like early on? Like what was the household like type shit?
Okay, I mean I was first born in Florida in Jacksonville.
Shit.
Parents immigrated to Jacksonville. Then they had me and then they owned like a gas station there.
Yeah.
So like I don't really have any memories of being out there, but just from what they tell me and like all the stories and stuff, basically like I just grew up at the gas station. Like I was a baby, like shitting in the sink and stuff. You know, like that's how I was growing up, was just like in this gas station. And then they weren't citizens. And then they got a sponsorship through my dad's sister here in Canada. Cause like Canada, it's easier to become a citizen than America. So they came here. And then when we moved here, we moved to Brampton, but we moved in with my cousins. So it was my cousins, their parents, their grandparents on that side, our shared grandparents, and like our other aunts. It was like 13 people in this like townhouse, and that was like the vibe for like the first few years. You know, it was just like mad like chaotic, just like a lot of energy. You know.
Yeah. How was that for you? Like what age would you say you were at this time?
I was like 4 or 5. This is like when my memories first started forming. You know, 4, 5, 6.
Wow.
So like a lot of your family's like older than you. Type of thing,
the 2 cousins I was living with was like 3 years older and 5 years older.
Yeah.
So like they were already living in Canada. I just came here, right? So they were like their whole experience was like what I like imagined life to be, you know, and then they like forced that on me too, you know? And like because I I was 5 years older than my brother. So my brother was just being born. So like that whole younger time I was like alone living in this gas station and shit, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it was a big difference. It was a big switch up. So I was more of like a calm, like reserved kid. And then Brampton and like my cousins and everyone's just like energy, you know?
Yeah.
So it was like adapting with that was different, yeah.
Was it difficult?
Yeah. Like I never really related to my cousins like that. Obviously, they're the ones who put me on, and my older friends put me on to like rap and put me on to like, you know, all the kind of stuff that is like the culture of like Toronto, Brampton, and all that.
Yeah.
But it's like I was always like, just more calm, just more in my head, you know. But it helped too because that meant like I wasn't like doing dumb stuff. You know, when you're a kid in like Toronto, Brampton, and stuff, either you're kind of like the bully, the one beating up people, or you're getting bullied, or you're trying to be the guy who's not getting picked on and not like getting beat up for no reason, right?
Yeah.
Like standing out when you're a kid is not cool.
Yeah.
Unless like you're cool. I don't know if that makes sense. Like
No,
standing out and
exactly
being weird, like it means you're done, you know?
Yeah.
Like I remember this kid, I don't remember what he did, bro, but they like in the 5th grade, they ganged up on him in the change room, and then me and my boy got in trouble for like not like stopping it or whatever, you know? It's like I wasn't gonna do anything, yo.
Yeah, I remember.
Crazy?
I remember that being like there's like a bystander. If you're a bystander, you were just as much as being a bully.
And they got us in trouble too. I was like, what the hell,
Yeah.
Word. So like during that time, like when the family was, like super packed in the crib, and you were like, when you transitioned to Toronto or like to Brampton, what was like did you hear music around the crib a lot or anything like that, or did you have like a different path set for you from your parents?
Yeah, no, music, like, so it kind of comes twofold. Like my parents, especially my mom, definitely listen to a lot of like music when I was growing up, but that was more like Bollywood music, Indian music and stuff. So I like if you ask my mom, she'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's where he got his music from and stuff," right? Which probably makes sense, like subconsciously, like so deep down, like it's internalized, you know.
Yeah.
But like what I personally like, obviously, is like the hip hop, and my mom wasn't listening to that. That came through living here, through my cousins, my older friends,
Word.
and yeah, bro. I still remember like the first time like we switched from Rogers Cable, like so after a couple years, my cousins moved to another house, we moved to another house, like got some more money or whatever,
Yeah.
and then we switched to Rogers Cable to Bell, right? And we finally got BT. They came over to my house and they were like, "Yo, you got Bell? We got to put you on a BT." And that night was like magical because back then they would do all the music videos.
Yeah.
And it was like, that was the era when it was like, I still remember it was like 50 Cent in the club music video. That's probably like the first video I like really
Damn,
watched,
bro.
bro. And that the man like was in the hospital. He's like taking off the things off his chest and stuff. I was like, yo, this guy like, is like a superhero, like a real life superhero.
Yeah.
And then that was kind of like one aspect of rap that really like motivated me is like, yo, this is like that's like the idol, you know, like the role model type stuff.
Yeah,
But then the
right.
other side was like literally a couple videos after that was this song by Nas. It's called "I Know I Can," and it's a song where he's like the chorus is sung by kids. It's a whole song. It's like it's kind of a corny song, but it's like if you're a kid, it's mad motivational. It's like
I
you
know
know, I
I
can be
can.
what I
Yeah.
want to be.
Yeah.
If I work hard at it, I'll be where I want to be. Yeah, it's like it's literally like a song for kids. You know, I was like 7 years old at the time.
Yeah.
So I kind of heard that. I heard like the 50 Cent, and I was like, yo, this is kind of like all of that can be rap, you know? So like from that age, it's like I always loved rap, and that's why I was always pursuing it.
Damn.
Word. Dope. Would you say like those are some of your main influences? Like Nas.
Nas, 50 Cent, yeah, for sure. Like early on, I think the New York scene was big, and it was bigger here too. Like a lot of people listen to like a lot of the New York rappers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of that, like DMX, G Unit as a whole, but then also like Eminem. And then yeah, like early on, it was a lot of just like from the South, would be like a lot of the hits from like people like T.I., Jeezy and stuff.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until like middle school when I like really started like looking for music myself, you know, and it wasn't just like what my older heads or like whatever were putting me onto.
Yeah.
Got you.
So what influenced you? Like what made you get into rap? What was that thing that went like, shit, I want to like actually do this now?
Honestly, it was just like since that young age, it was like just, like that childhood dream that was like, yo, I want to be like an astronaut, or I want to be like a scientist or something. It's like I wanted to be a rapper, you know. And then
Word.
it was just like that was like that little dream just manifested itself slowly, and then like being from Brampton, Toronto, like you see people like our age or like when you're growing up, like people who are doing it, like you know. Even when like I was in middle school, Drake started popping. In Brampton, we had this guy. His name's D Pride. He was like literally started popping off when he was like in high school, and he did like tours around the world and stuff. So it's like, yo, if these guys can do it, then like I could really do it too. So then that like that little childhood dream became like, okay, let me really try this, you know?
So tell me a little bit about like how you got to where you are right now. How have you been able to make this transition from, you know, being like coming up in Brampton and everything and being an independent artist? Like how are you in the position you are in now?
Just a lot of work, fam, you know?
Yeah.
Like I've been making music for like 10 years now, and it's like it took a long time to figure out like what I'm even trying to do with the music, like what direction I'm trying to take it, like what really is my brand, or like what am I even trying to say with the music, you know? And early on, I think like myself and a lot of people think you can just like get the viral hit and you're just gonna like blow up or whatever, which the thing is like it happens for some people, right? Like
Yeah.
I was just talking to my boy about this, like it happens for some people, so then it makes you feel like, yo, it could happen for me too, you know? And it might happen for you, but like to chase that is like tricky because like it most likely won't, you know?
Yeah.
It's like playing the lottery. So it's like it's better to like instead of playing the lottery, it's like make your money in smart ways. So like instead of like trying to go viral, it's better to like build your career up.
Yeah.
So after
I
like
agree
some
with
years,
that.
you know, I kind of learned that, and then from there I just kind of took the more slow and steady path, you know?
Yeah.
Do a lot of shows, like meet a lot of people, just build out the fan base, do things like do even other things like run ads and stuff, try to do like different like types of videos, do a lot of
Gotcha.
social media content. At this point I do like 4 or 5 TikToks a day, yo, you know, just like
Holy
mad
jeez.
videos, yeah.
Word.
Okay, sorry. So I agree with what you said. Like, you know, sometimes we get those people that they get lucky. They get that they win the lottery. But I think sometimes also that, you know, they've also done what you've done, and you know, they have 5-10 years behind them potentially, and we just don't see that. We're just seeing that one song that just took off, and we're not looking at the work that they put in prior. Do you think that might potentially happen for yourself one day?
Yeah, exactly. And I think you can't really predict it. It's like a lot of people say this too, like, oh, the song or like whatever the video that they put a lot of more effort into didn't go viral, and then it was like some random thing, you know, like that went viral for them.
Yeah,
Like didn't Doja Cat go viral off like a cow song or something? I don't even know.
I can't remember.
I get it.
But it's like my thing about saying that was like you can't really plan for it. So the point is like, yeah, I think by keep trying, like just by staying consistent, like any
Yeah.
one of those things, if it's good quality, like if it's made with like, like purpose and like intention, then like it could blow,
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
When
those
you're
people, they put the 5-10 years, but like any one of those moments that could have happened. But the fact that they stay consistent is why. Like if they were putting out less stuff, then that's just less chances that you could blow, really. So
Yeah.
It's
I
also
kinda
that
feel
thing
yeah.
that like everybody always says, right? It's like you put like your 10,000 hours in to blow up overnight.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
It's like it looks like you blew up overnight, but people don't see the work you're putting on behind the
Yeah.
scenes until they really like dive in and you talk about it.
Yeah.
So it's like definitely one of those situations.
Yeah. The overnight success took fucking 5-10 years, whatever. But
So what did it take for you to kind of like develop that mindset for yourself? Because I feel like everybody goes through that stage at the beginning where they're like, man, things aren't working out. Were you always like just thinking like this, or
Nah,
did you
definitely
have
had some
influences?
points where it was like, yo, like this music's not working out or whatever. Like, because when I started out, I was in high school. When you start out when you're in like school, it's kind of not easy, but it's like you just know so many people because you're around so many people that you're gonna get like views and people just rocking with it like that.
yeah.
But then once you're kind of out of school and it's like you're not interacting with as many people,
Yeah.
like your engagement goes down because then you realize, oh, these people were listening to it or they're rocking with it because they knew me, like they were
Yeah.
seeing me. But like they didn't actually become like fans, So
Right.
then I had to take a different approach. But like there was definitely years like probably like it's been 10 years since I making music, but like 5 years into making music was like I had the least amount of like listeners, So it's like that was like literally the low point, like 5 years in. And then
Yeah.
from there it was like, yo, it's like either this could just be it's like over or whatever, or it's like you gotta figure out new moves. Like you gotta you gotta take like your own responsibility and say like, why is this not working? Like what could I do to improve that? And that takes a lot of like mental strength and like gymnastics or whatever. So like
Yeah.
that's kind of
Discipline.
tricky if you're not in the right headspace. So yeah, that was probably why it took so long for me to get there, because all those years like I was dealing with some other stuff too, So that's just life. So as like I kind of figured myself out, then I was able to like focus up on my music too, because like once my life was a bit more in order, then it's easier to handle like your business.
That makes sense.
Word.
I want to ask a quick question. Go back to school. Were you like judged in any way for being like wanted to be a rapper while you were in like public school, high school?
No, because like in Brampton, it was normal. Like every school had like at least a rapper, a DJ. Like that was like common themes. Like everyone's or like someone trying to be like a professional basketball player or something. Like that was super common. So it's like I was just fulfilling that role for my high school.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's
Word.
natural.
So there wasn't no other like rappers in the
There was
school?
one other guy, and then me and him like in the last year we didn't beef or anything, but it was like we were the two rappers. And then
Yeah.
like our school did one of those like for the grad they did like one of those like most likely to be, like all these different things, like most likely to.
Yeah.
And then they
Oh,
threw in
yeah.
that one. They threw in the most likely to be a rapper. I don't know who was on that council trying to get us to beef, yo. And then I won that one, yo. So maybe he feels
Word.
salty about it. Literally like some years ago. I wonder if he's gonna see this, bro. Like he definitely been commenting on my stuff, like just mad salty. Like he would diss like the videographers, like video edits and stuff. And I'm like, bro, like why are you dissing this
Word.
man trying to get at me, yo?
Yeah,
Wow.
nah.
I mean, that's how you know you made it in some way, when you have haters, right? So,
Then you come back like, yo, you gotta work with me instead, bro. Like that's not
Yeah.
the way to like get clients. I don't think,
Yeah.
To diss the man that like the guy I work with, you're gonna diss him. And then like,
It just doesn't come out genuine.
Yeah.
exactly.
And like this whole industry is all about that. So even if it gets you like a couple steps forward, it's not gonna get you to the long run.
Yeah, I agree with that one for sure. So what gravitated me to reach out to you was that I saw that you quit your full-time job
yeah.
and you became an artist full-time and
Yeah.
pursuing that as a career. So tell me a little bit about that and like what motivated you to quit your job.
Independently too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is like something I actually planned like a long time ago. I'm actually like making like a little video about it, but it'll come out later. So it's all good. This will get the exclusive, yeah. But like basically like one time I was at my boy's like house party like way back when I was like 21,
Okay.
and I said like, yo, if I turn 27 and I'm not like balling as a rapper, then I'm gonna quit like whatever I was doing like day job wise and just like go full time on the music for a year.
Gotcha.
And then if that doesn't work, then like I'm gonna like do something else. Like it might still be music, it might still be like music related or something creative, but it's not gonna be like like a regular job or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Especially because now I've actually built up like a fan base and a following. Like it'd be dumb to like just waste that, you know, and like let it go to waste.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
better to just keep building that. But like, yeah, I literally turned 27. I don't know when this is gonna drop, but I turned 27 on August 17th. And I was like, let me quit like before, like when the summer starts, because you know, summertime's like the best time to be out, do a lot of
Yeah.
events and all that.
Facts, yeah.
And I had like mad stuff kind of already lining up. Actually no, I kind of had this plan, and then literally things started lining up. I don't know, you know, maybe it was like in me, like now that I knew it was like fully on me. I think that's part of it too, is like once you know it's fully on you, like there's no plan B, like you gotta go all in. So then you're just putting yourself out there, you're trying more things, taking more risks,
Yeah.
and things really lined up. So as soon as I quit, like I had like some of my biggest shows. I
That's
quit like May
crazy.
27th, and then I had some of my biggest shows in June, July, yeah.
You took those golden handcuffs off of you.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's just like, yo, now it's all on me. So it's like it's been 2 months, 2 months a bit, and it's been mad successful so far, and just like trying to keep pushing, you know. Got a lot more to come out, yeah.
That's dope. Congrats, bro.
Yeah,
I mean, like
appreciate it.
honestly, like hats off to you. Like
Yeah,
respect,
yeah.
because I know it's not easy, especially as an artist, because a lot of the like expense does fall onto the artist when
Mm-hmm.
pursuing music. So for you to find a way to, you know, offset those costs and then continue to pursue this as a career, that just mad respect for that.
Yeah, I appreciate that,
So
bro.
I want to get into a little bit about that. So like, how have you found, like, what are some of those revenue streams that you've been able to find for you to pursue being an artist, an independent artist full time?
Yeah, so that's something I'm still like building up, but so far, like some of the main things is like I said, I kind of lined up certain like bigger performances that helped me get some like one-off checks, you know.
Gotcha.
That helped out. And then I do have some money coming in from streams, but like streams is like it's not enough to like sustain you.
No. Hell
So like
no.
that's just like more like pocket change, you know?
Yeah.
And then I also sell merch.
Okay.
And then the shows are a good help to like sell the merch at too, because sometimes people might see the merch like online or whatever. When it's like right there in person, they're like, oh yeah, I'll just buy this, whatever,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a good combination. And then you know, trying to host my own events and stuff. Now I'm trying to branch into like, you know, like because I've been doing this for so long, 10 years, you know, I'm trying to branch more into like the music business side and just like pass on my knowledge.
Gotcha.
And mostly I just do it for free. Like people ask me questions and stuff, but if
Yeah.
someone was like, yo, like, can you like set this up for me, or like help me like run my ads or something, then like I
Yeah.
can just like get like a small fee or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So kind of like help other artists that are like starting out
Gotcha.
to figure out like, you know, ads or like social media or like grants and things. And then grants is like another way I'm trying to get money as well.
Gotcha. I was gonna ask you about that.
Yeah.
'cause
So I've applied for some grants this year that should be coming, like not coming in, but like the results should be coming in
Gotcha.
this month.
Factor.
I not fact. I didn't apply for Factor
Okay.
right now. One of the Factor ones, like I applied for it, and then they were like, "Yo, you're like too developed of an artist to like get this one." It's like their base one, the developing artist one.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yo, if you release music on Spotify like more than on streaming more than 3 years ago, then you're not eligible."
Interesting.
But it's a good grant because like they give it to a lot of people. But no, I
So it's
applied to
like-
like Canada Council,
Yeah.
Ontario Council.
Nice. Dope.
Yeah.
Those ones you'll probably be able to.
Yeah, I got my first grant ever like last year from Canada Council for my
Nice.
album, and the thing is like it's so hectic because like you apply in like February,
Yeah.
and the grant doesn't come till August, so it's like honestly I forgot about it, and like I paid
Yeah.
all the studio time, paid all the mix mastering, like cover our videos, everything, right?
Yeah.
And then the album was gonna come out in September. We were working on it the whole like pandemic basically. And then the check just came in. I was like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah,
that was
that
the
must
fattest
have-
check that ever landed in my bank account." You know, I was like, "That
Yeah.
was crazy."
That must have
Yeah.
been nice.
Yeah,
So now with the grants, are you applying yourself on your own?
yeah, I've been applying myself. Just because I didn't really know anyone, and then
Yeah.
once I got that Canada one, I was like, blessed. Okay, I'm gonna so like with the Canada one, I was like, let me keep applying for this because like yo, I got it once, so
Yeah.
like at least I know like they like how I write or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just mad work. It's like writing an essay, but at least like I know I got it once, so maybe I can get it again. And then
Yeah. And now you can help other artists.
other
maybe.
people, yeah. But
Yeah.
I did start meeting some people, like some grant writers, so I might start working with them. I haven't yet,
Okay.
but like they basically like take, I guess like if they get it, they just take a cut, which is pretty blessed deal.
I'm a DM you somebody.
Sick, yeah.
One of my boys. His name's 5 Piece. I don't know if you heard of him,
I don't think
but
so.
that's all he does. Like last year he won over 100K for all the artists that he works with, and this year he's on track for hitting 200.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, and I believe with him, he's a lot different than like some of these agencies or other writers. With him, what he does is he actually, so he helps you like actually apply for the grant, and then he doesn't just like take your money and then like if you win the grant, he's not just going to like pretty like fuck off. He's gonna help you like the whole process, because I know with the grants that you're going to have to, there's still like things that you have to
Document, like
document, like
expenses and stuff.
submit some like receipts and all that kind of stuff. So he helps you through that whole process. So he makes sure that you don't actually like lose your money, because it happens, right? I've heard stories of other artists, applying for grants. They win the money from some grant writer, and they haven't been there with them through the rest of the process, and then they ended up owing money because it becomes then just a debt. It's not a grant. It's not free money. It ends up becoming a debt.
Right.
Because they just didn't hit those requirements.
Yeah.
That's something a little bit different that he does. But yeah, I'll send you.
For sure. That sounds sick. Yeah. And some of these grants, bro, they get crazy. Like once you start leveling up in the sizes, like 50K, 100K for like one project.
Yeah.
It's next level.
The work is crazy. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of these like more artists that kind of go into like, you can kind of see them, like some artists are more like in Toronto, they're more like street rappers, they're obviously getting the money from like certain ways, and then some artists you can kind of see they're more like not industry like plants or whatever, but they're more industry rappers. Like the way they're making their moves is like they're trying to get more stuff like Junos and awards, and they're working with like, all these artists, and these artists are getting like a lot of the grants. I feel like you could just live off those grants, bro, if you can get enough of like these big ones. And like Canada's crazy because they just like offer these grants. Like I meet people from like America and the UK and stuff, and they're like, "Yo, we wish we had Canada's like grant art system."
Yeah.
It's dope that we have that kind of infrastructure here. But them as a business, or that like the music business down in the US is so much better.
But that's why Canada does that, right? Because they keep trying to retain like Canadian artists. They don't want you to go to these other countries, but obviously you're gonna do it. And I'm born there, so I have a dual citizenship.
Oh, nice.
So it's easy. So like this year I already did like my first time doing like tours in America.
Nice.
The first one was like super DIY. It was just like I went by myself, and like I had mad artists that like I've met online in different cities, and I was like through that I planned out like a route. So I started in Boston, and then I drove all the way like in my whip, Boston, New York, Philly, Baltimore, Charlotte, all the way down to Miami. And then
like this is just all in your whip.
Yeah, my ones, and my
all,
whip.
all out of your own pocket.
Yeah. This time I was working my job. Yeah. This was like in December, January, and then so I took like a few days vacation, and then after that I had to work a bit. Then it was like Christmas vacation.
Yeah.
And then once I got to Miami, it was like New Year's, so I partied, and then I had to work for like a week. But I would like work during the day, and then I was in Miami just living life,
That's sick.
And then I did another 2 weeks on the way back, like Atlanta, Nashville, Indianapolis, and then more cities in Florida too, Tampa, Jacksonville, and then went to Detroit, and then I came back.
That's sick, bro.
So it was like 12 shows. Yeah.
That's sick.
So did you have these like shows already planned out in these cities, or did you kind of like drive out and then figure it out?
Yeah, just figured it out. I had like one show planned because like I had a homie in New York who's like, "Yo, I have a show. You can like come kick it. Like he's gonna perform. I'll perform."
Yeah.
So I performed there, and then every other show I just like found once I was there, or like once I was in the city before, I would figure it out. I'd be like, okay, what? Basically, I would just look for like venues or like events, and I would see like, and I would just contact them and be like, "Yo, is there a way I could just perform at your show?"
That's sick.
Yeah, so it's just like any like local artists were doing shows or showcases.
Yeah.
I'd basically just try and join, and then they'd be down because like they're just like, who's this man from like Toronto, like all the way out here, just like trying to do it. And then that'd also be like a big benefit too, because they'd always say it to like announce me, or like I would like start by basically saying that like I drove here from Toronto, and I just get people's like ears perked up, be like, yo, like what's this guy saying?
They're like, he did what?
Yeah, exactly.
He did what?
So now they're listening. They're like, okay, now we got to check this guy. Like, is he actually sick or what? And it's like, yo, like never one time was anyone like, nah, you're trash, you're whack. And it's like some of these cities, some of these crowds are definitely like, like they would tell you, So it's like it's pretty sick to like get compliments and get bigged up by all these people from like all these different cities, like performing in like Brooklyn and stuff,
That's
performing in like Philly. And then later I found out like I was like straight up in like some hood in Philly, bro. Like once I got to the venue, they're like, yo, how'd you get here? I was like, bro, I took the subway. They're like, yo, you can't be taking the subway back. I was like, oh shit, man. All right.
Word.
Where was your favorite place that you performed?
That New York. So I did two in New York. Like the first one that my boy found was okay, but then the one that I found on my own was pretty crazy. It just felt like mad, like just like monumental in my life, to like perform like at like a New York show like that with like all the other artists have like, and it was like the full like range of New York. It was like old school like boom bap, and then like the drill, and then even like some like A Boogie type vibes. So it was like, yo, it's like the whole New York spectrum was there. And then like I kind of felt like I fit right into that whole like pocket, So that was a pretty sick one. Detroit like randomly had like a sick crowd.
Yeah.
So that was just like a sick show. But what was another good one? Miami, the vibes in Miami were sick.
Nice.
Have you gone back to Jacksonville to perform or do anything yet?
Nah, yeah, on that tour, I went to Jacksonville, but I didn't. Damn, that shit was crazy, bro. You guys can tell me what you would do in this situation. So I went there, and then the show ended up just being like an open thing. It was just like ciphering, so we like freestyled or whatever. But anyways, after the show, right, I go to my car. It's like right across the street, and I get in the car, bro, and like I turn it on, and I literally look in the rear view, dog, and there's this giant dude, bro, and him and his girl are having a fight. But they're like, then they start fighting, and he's like kind of like choking her and like pushing her and shit. And then he like, I don't know, they get some scrap. He like throws her out, and she's just like crying on the sidewalk. And I was like, bro, like, I ain't trying to do nothing, you know? And Jacksonville's pretty hood, you know? So it's like, I kind of just like sat there. I was like, yo, let me just see, like, you know, like I'm like the car right in front of him.
Yeah.
Like, let me just see, like, make sure he doesn't do nothing like super crazy, you know?
Yeah.
And then it seemed calm after a bit, but it was just like super hectic. But I was like, I didn't call the cops or nothing because I was like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna allow this, you know? But like I look on the other side of the street was like literally the venue, and those guys, like, I just guess they couldn't see or whatever, and they just allowed it too. But yeah. What would you guys do in that situation, yo?
I feel like I would have tried to like grab the girl and like escape from him. Because, I mean, if the dude's big, size him up, it's probably not going to happen. But, like, at least get her away from him in some way. But, like, you might be intervening something at the same time. I don't know. That's a tricky one, bro.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, to be honest with you. I would have to see the situation in person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think I definitely, like, would have tried to, like, help. Yeah. I think I would have helped and like try to get the girl out of there.
Yeah,
that's what I thought too, but then I didn't. So.
Would you say that's one of the craziest things like you experienced like on tour? Because you hear all these stories about tours and artists and everything like that. Like, would you say that's probably one of your craziest
That's pretty crazy,
moments?
yeah. Like I feel like I haven't gone on like a real serious like proper tour and stuff, so I haven't had like those crazy like tour like fan experiences yet. But that was definitely some like next level. Like it's gonna stick with me for sure. You know? Yeah.
Wait, have you toured around Toronto, around like Canada?
Yeah, so then that was kind of like I branded that as like the 9-5 tour because the highway is called the I-95, and I'm born in 1995. Spitty 95 is all connected, you know.
Sick.
So I took that down, and then that was in December, January, and then in February. I mean, not February. In April, I was like applying to different festivals and stuff, right? And then I got one in Pennsylvania in this town called like Lancaster. And so I was like, instead of just going for the festival and coming back, it was like Easter weekend. I was like, let me just do another tour. But this time I went with 3 guys who were all like videographers, photographers.
Smart.
And we just went in my whip again, and we went to that city first, and then we went to Philly, and then we went to New York. In New York, we did like 2 shows it's like 4 shows, like 4 nights of straight shows, like 2 in Brooklyn and 2 in Manhattan.
Damn.
Jeez.
And we were out in New York for like a week too, just chilling. So that was like another 2-week tour. And then that was part of like a larger tour called like the Full Circle Tour, which is my album. And that's like, technically it's still ongoing because, I had a bunch of shows like in Toronto, Brampton, London. So I kind of just encompassed that all into like the tour. And then I have a show next Friday for like my birthday. And then I have a show that's in Toronto. And then I have a show August 19th, I have a show in Toronto, and then August 27th, I have a show in Brampton. And that'll be the end of the Full Circle Tour.
What's the venue for August 17th?
For 19? Yeah, my birthday's the 17th, but the 19th of Friday, it's the Mix 669.
Where?
It's on College Street. It's like a Caribbean restaurant and but venue too. They got the stage and everything.
Where?
Nice.
So it's gonna be sick. It's gonna be packed out, and then we'll just party after. Turn out.
Sick.
Seems like you got your schedule nice and lined up for you. I how you do all these shows.
Just don't sleep, bro.
We can relate on that. Cause I don't be sleeping for real.
Yeah, bro. So when I did that tour, that first one, because I was driving by myself and I was just doing so much, I was just like averaging like 5.5 hours of sleep the whole trip, right? And then when I came back, like it was still just nonstop. Like literally came back, and then I drove. That last day was like the craziest day. Like whenever I tell people this, it's like it was a Thursday, and we were in Indianapolis, and I did a show like 9-10, and then me and my boy who did the show, like he met me there actually. We went and we like were out drinking and stuff till like 2-3 a.m. Man said like White Castle like 3-4 in the morning, and then we woke up, and this was when I was working my job, right? So I had to work from 8:30 or whatever till like 4:30. But the hotels, they kick you out at like 12:30. So I worked till like that time, to my lunch break, and then I did this some other days too. I'd basically shower and stuff, and then drive as far as I could to my next destination before my lunch runs out, and then go to the nearest Starbucks, and then finish my shift there. And I'll do another like four hours.
Wait, so what was your job that allowed you to do this?
It was like IT.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I just need a computer
word.
and an
Gotcha.
internet connection.
Damn, that's sick. So
Yeah.
what was your actual position? If you know what I'm at me asking.
It's just like IT specialist, like
Okay.
do a lot of just like, so our company would just manage the IT for other companies. So that's like all their like cloud storage, their servers, even their like computers,
Gotcha.
their security, everything, you know? So it's just like a bit of all of that. So sometimes you just be doing like projects. Sometimes you have to like answer calls. So sometimes
Yeah.
like answering like client
Yeah.
calls like
Yeah.
in the Starbucks. But then I
Yeah.
finished that Starbucks at 5 or whatever, and then I drove the rest of the way from Indianapolis to Detroit for this show at like 9.
Yeah.
Performed there mad late. Finished at like 1, and then instead of staying there, I just drove back home to Brampton.
Yeah.
And got home at like 5, and then I had to wake up at like 10 because there was this event by this organization called Beat Cave. They do this like camp event
Oh
in
yeah,
Toronto
yeah.
at
yeah.
Lynx.
Yeah.
So I went for that, and then that was at like 12, right? But I had to wake up at 10 to like get ready and then get to Lynx by
Yeah.
like 12. And so then I did that the whole day, and that runs till like 9. So yeah, that was like the last day of the tour.
Bro, this is okay. I have to like highlight something here for a second. So you're an independent artist, and you took advantage of your job. You utilized your job to help you go on tour.
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
took like
It was super hectic though. It can't be done again.
it's literally like someone who just fucking didn't let any obstacle get in their way from allowing them to do what they want to do. You literally
Yeah.
just like said, fuck it, yo, I'm gonna do this somehow, some way, and you just, you made it work. So I just want to highlight
Yeah.
that because like
yeah, I appreciate that.
not a
yeah.
lot of people, not a lot of like I know a lot of people have been like, oh no, I can't do that, blah blah blah. I have to stay home. I gotta make sure I answer all these calls, and I gotta make sure that I'm here on time for my break. You're like, fuck it, yo, I'm gonna bring my laptop and I'm going
Yeah.
I'm going to
But that-
Starbucks.
that's
yo,
also
like,
yeah. That's because like I didn't care about it. Like my focus was obviously on the music. So it was
Yeah.
like whatever I could do to like make the music work.
Yeah.
Like I would sacrifice the job. You
yeah,
know?
yeah, I feel you. I do the same shit.
Yeah.
Did they know you were touring during the time?
Nah. That first time they definitely didn't know because like I didn't really tell them about it.
Yeah.
And then we actually had like we don't really have meetings and stuff. And then we had one meeting because it was like Christmas and it was supposed to be like a games thing. And I just like didn't put on my camera and stuff. And I was just like, basically they sent everyone like some box. It was like bingo or something. And it was at my crib. So I just pretended I was playing and losing the whole time.
Yeah.
But then the second time I went on tour, basically this time it was only like a month before I was gonna quit, right? So I started on TikTok. I started branding it like, yo, I used up all my vacation days and I'm about to go on this tour because I'm about to quit my job,
Yeah.
And like those videos started like doing pretty well. And then I guess someone on my like work saw it and like told some of my boss or like asked them like, oh, this guy's leaving or whatever. I don't think like they even
Wow.
snitched. I think they were just saying like, yo, he's leaving because I never told them yet,
Yeah.
So then when I got back, my boss, not my boss actually, like my boss's boss, like the owner of the company,
Yeah.
he's like, he calls me and he's like, yo, I don't really use TikTok and stuff. And as soon as he said that, I was like, oh, nah, we're done. Yo, we're done. He found us out.
Damn.
And then, but he's actually like mad safe because like, he was like, yeah, bro, like you gotta follow your passions and stuff. Cause like basically it's actually
That's
crazy.
dope.
I used to work at a different company and he used to work at that same company before I did, like way back. And then he left that company to found his own company, which is the company that I then like went to work at.
Yeah.
So he was like, yo, I did the same thing, but mine was like in IT. I had to like quit and like go do my own thing.
Yeah.
And like now you're doing it with the rap. So that's sick. I was like, all right, yo, shout out this guy.
Yeah, that's dope.
Word.
Have someone have someone in your corner that can support you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope.
Oh, sorry, real quick before
Yeah.
I was getting to something about the
Oh,
whole
yeah.
sleep thing.
Yeah.
I brought up that story because like when I got back, so I just told myself like, yo, whatever, like I'm just not gonna sleep. Like I'm just gonna keep this going. And then what ends up happening is you just get into sleep deprivation. This is how I learned about the science of life, bro. And you just literally can't, because I kept asking myself like, yo, sleep's so dumb, bro. Like why do we have to like turn our body off when I'm just
Yeah.
trying to grind, bro? And so like literally, I don't know why still, but like if you don't, fam, you just get sick. And
Yeah.
like then your body just forces you to sleep. So that's what happened like late February. So like because that was the end of January 22nd when I came back, and I kept doing it for a whole another month. And then by late February, I just got sick for like a week.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like COVID or anything. But
body-
it was just like I was just like dead, bro.
Yeah, your body just shuts
Yeah.
down. I remember doing the same shit. I worked 2 full-time jobs
Yeah.
for like fucking months.
So-
And then you get to the point where like man, just sleep is just like the best form of recovery. There's nothing
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
nothing better you can do for your body than sleep. And like
That's facts.
I know, like I used to be like that too. Be like, yo, sleep is for those people who are broke, you know. Like,
No, I'm not saying. I wasn't saying all that. But I
Like-
was just saying like I have so much
Yeah,
stuff
I
I need
don't
to
know
do.
about that one.
I just have so much stuff I have to do, you know, and it's like I don't have enough time.
yeah,
I'm like, I'm not trying to sleep. I'm trying to like do all this stuff, bro.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I had that little phase for a little while.
yeah.
Like literally just
Can't do
going
it, bro.
hard.
Can't do
Yeah.
it.
But like recently I've had some people in my corner kind of like talk some sense into me.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And be like, yo, you gotta get at least like 5-6 hours of sleep. You know what I mean? And it's so
Yeah, yeah.
important because like you'll really like burn out and like literally the sleep deprivation thing you're talking about too.
But
So,
I still see
Yeah.
like a lot of value too in not sleeping and pushing your body to those limits and
Yeah. It's
seeing how
like,
much you
yeah.
can grind. You
I'm
know?
definitely not sleeping like that much still, but like I'm like I keep telling myself like I need to get one day and where like I sleep more than like, you know,
The rest,
7-8
yeah.
hours. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Because normally I sleep like 6, probably 7. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, right now I'm at like 5.
yeah. I'm somewhere in there. Depends.
Yeah. it's
Depends on the
bad.
day.
So you spoke about Bee Cave.
Oh yeah.
About like
Yeah.
that.
Bee Cave sick.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about what that is for like people that don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Bee Cave is an organization run by like Jerome and Amber, and they hold events for artists, really anyone. Like one time last summer, they had people fly in literally from BC to come to the event, and
That's crazy.
their main like event is camp,
Mhm.
creatives arranging musical projects,
Yeah,
but also it's just a camp. Like it's basically my first time going to like a writing camp, but it's a pretty normal concept in music.
And you guys go out like somewhere like in the,
So that's one of them. That's one of them that happens in the summer where it's like literally a camp where we go to
up north, like
it's
Bruce,
like 3 hours. Yes, Bruce Peninsula.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
they have a
Bruce
bus that
Peninsula.
you just hop on the bus and then they just take you there and it's like it's all inclusive. To be honest, it's actually sick because like if you ever try to go on like a cottage trip with like your boys or something, like you're almost gonna pay the same price.
Yeah,
But in this, you're literally doing like what you love. I mean,
Yeah.
assuming you love
Yeah.
music, like it's crazy. Like literally, we were doing 1 second you're making music, 1 second you're playing ball, 1 second you're like on a canoe.
yeah.
They gave all mans like 7 G's of Kush and a bottle of wine. Like as soon as we pulled up,
Damn.
Jeez.
and everyone brought their own supplies, you know. So it was just crazy. But
That's dope.
that's like the longer one. And then yeah, the whole time you just make tracks. But then the one at Lynx is a bit more organized.
Yeah,
Like there's like so the Lynx one is it's still camp, but it's just like every like hour and a half there's a session. And there's like every room's booked. So there's like 12, 15 sessions going on
Yeah.
at once.
the
And
producer
each,
slots.
yeah, each producer has a slot, and then an engineer stays in each room to help run the session. And then artists can just like float between
All the
and
rooms,
make
yeah.
tracks however they want. And then
Word.
rooms kind of lock like once maybe like, oh, they're like, yo, we're recording, so we're gonna lock the door and like no one else come.
Yeah.
But for the most part, yeah, you can just like float around and then you can just like do something here, do something there. And then every hour or hour and a half, however they run it, it switches. And then they have like 4 or 5 sessions a day.
Yeah,
So it's like mad sessions. It's like 60, 75 producers. So different sessions going on. And from that, you can already assume like 75, 80, however many tracks get made.
yeah.
Jeez.
They-
All in like 6 hours.
Yeah, a
7
day,
hours,
basically
whatever.
a day. Not like 8 hours, but like that gets cut down to like one tape, and then they'll
Yeah.
drop that tape. So
How many songs is on the tape?
Depends.
usually I feel like it's like 18, 20, like
Word.
yeah.
Yeah.
But camp 1, 2, 3, camp 4 just happened. Is the last one? That was the last one in Links. That's the one that I came back for,
Yeah.
and that tape's gonna drop like I guess this summer before the next camp happens, which is
Yeah.
in September.
Yeah.
It's supposed to happen the same weekend as Rolling Loud. But then Rolling Loud got announced, so they moved it. Literally moved it.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Moved it a whole weekend after.
Yeah,
Word.
I enjoy camp. I did. I was engineer
I've
for
never done it.
1 and 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then
Wait, so I was at one, but maybe we just didn't properly
Yeah,
interact.
Yeah, probably not.
I wasn't at
It's
two
just
though.
So many
Small
people.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah, two was the one during the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that one felt weird, and I was like, nah, I'm not doing this.
Yeah. No, it was. I liked 2, but it was different because it was like mad emphasis on like the masks. And,
Yeah, that's why I was like, nah, I'm not trying to do all
yeah.
this.
I mean, they're fun though. Like
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
sick. The one in the retreat one, that one's just like
I gotta
like
do.
you're
that
guaranteed
one,
to
so.
just make like real connections with people, like
Yeah.
beyond just like the music or whatever, because you're literally just like out. It's like a summer camp, like literally I never been to no like summer camp.
Yeah.
That was my first time as a grown ass man going to summer camp, but it felt sick,
Yeah.
and you're just with people who are just like pretty like minded. So
Yeah.
literally like bunk beds, it's like because it's still just like a camp. There's no like adult camp, so they had to find like a teen camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the next closest thing.
Yeah, it's the next closest thing.
So, like,
it's
you
a
must
teenage
have-
basketball camp, but it's lit.
So if you obviously enjoy that, you must be like very open to like collaboration and working with other people and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Word. So
Yeah.
for like the music that like you make, do you find yourself collaborating with a lot of other artists in the city?
Yeah, for sure. Like the EP I just dropped, Peel EP, or Peel Volume One is literally Peel region, like Brampton, Saga, and it's all artists, producers,
From
made in Brampton, Saga. You know, so it's like
Word.
were you the one to create that idea?
yeah. It was supposed to be like a whole album actually, like a 9-track album. You know, like 905 and all that. I always try to come with these little like connections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my last album was 12 tracks because it's like full circle. It's all about time, you know. So it's like 12 tracks,
Damn,
like,
bro.
like a
Oh,
clock.
that's clever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, Peel EP, yeah. So it's like the first track has 5 rappers, the second track has 5 rappers, third track 3 rappers, like
Damn.
3
Wait,
producers.
5 rappers on one track. Jeez.
Yeah, on 2 tracks. 2 tracks each have 5 rappers, and it actually
Yeah.
like sounds sick. Both those tracks are short too, they're like 3 minutes.
Word.
Yeah, it's just like energy. But
Wait, what are they called?
uh,
Plug them in.
yeah. So it's Peel back. So it's all Peel references. So Peel back, Banana Peel, and then Peel Baby. That's the whole Peel Volume 1, you know.
Word.
And then I'm about to drop Peel Volume 2 in September. That one's gonna be less rappers, just because the one thing is it's really hard to coordinate. You know, coordinate videos, coordinate anything, shoots,
Yeah.
performances. Like we've done Peel back once, I think. We never did with the whole squad. You know, so it's hard to coordinate with everybody.
Yeah.
So this next
Yeah.
one's gonna be still same concept, like Peel like people, but just less. You know.
Yeah.
And then Peel Volume 1, 2, and then 3. I'm gonna bring it back again, a lot more people, just to like close it out. And that'll be the trilogy for the year.
Do you have a manager?
Nah, I don't have
No.
anything, bro.
No, nothing.
Nah.
Have you thought about signing to a label? And if not, why? What's stopping you?
I mean, I feel like no labels have reached out to me. I'm not like that big yet, you know. But would I sign to a label? I guess it depends what deal they offer.
Yeah.
Mostly, I just care about being able to like retain, you know, most or like some majority of like my creative control.
Yeah.
And then also like in the back end, like retain like control over like the masters, like the songs, the recordings.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
so I think a lot of artists, even big artists, they do like these lease deals where like the label gets it for like the first 5 or 10 or something, which is basically like where they assume most of the money's gonna come.
Yeah.
But then you get it for the rest of your life, so you can do whatever you want with it. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know, like that Stranger Things, like that song is like Running Up That Hill or whatever. It's like some old song, but because Stranger Things is like old, they had to use not they had to, but like they use old music.
Yeah, they use like Metallica, right?
Yeah, so it's
they use
like
Metallica songs.
so it's like those songs like get money again. They get popular, like this like Running Up That Hill or something. I think it became like super popular because it was using that show. So it's like I don't know who owns that, but if the people that made it own it, then they could like now they're making random money again.
Bro, think about think about those people, like all the throwback songs that are on that show. Think of like so all these like 80s, 90s tracks, and you know things like I'm just using Metallica because I know that they were on the new season or whatever. Can you imagine how much money they're making? How many new fans, and how like the young audience is now watching the show and seeing that. They hear the music and they're going, "Oh, damn!" There's like it's new to them, and they're going and interacting with it. And Metallica's probably just like, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully they.
As long as they
own
got
that
that
or
paper, if they got that paperwork right.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
That's what we never know is like who owns what and stuff. So.
But the potential is there.
yeah,
So long as
Yeah.
you have like your business right.
Yeah, but like labels like that's not really like nowadays. Like the way I look at labels, all they really are is like connections,
yeah,
and like it's just like an easy way to have all those like different roles, like you're saying manager, like publicist, or like A&R,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
So you have like no real team though.
Nah. So I have like I kind of have like the 3 guys that I run a video with. One of
Yeah.
those guys, he's definitely like James. He's like helping me do a lot of my videos and stuff. And other than that, though, no, I don't have like any manage. I can manage myself, do all my own like marketing, posting.
That's
like I post
crazy.
like this week, last week, couple of weeks, I've been posting like 6 TikToks a day, and like on Instagram at least once. And it's just like, yo, that takes up so much time, bro. It takes like an hour plus just like posting stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
You gotta pick like the thumbnail and stuff, bro. I was like, yeah, like scroll, like, yo, which one looks sick?
Yeah.
And then it's just hectic, but the label's just connections. Like it could be blessed, but you could also just make all those connections yourself. You know, get a booking agent, get
Yeah.
a manager, and get this, and then like build out that team yourself and just stay independent. So
Yeah.
basically, I met this guy and he just told me to do that. He's like, yeah, yo, you could just like find the people that work at the booking agencies and then like email them or something and be like, yo, come out to my show. So I tried to do that, but I got no responses. But like that's something I was trying to do is like because if they come and they like rock with your set, then they
Yeah.
might like put you on their roster, like be like, okay, I can find
Bring
something for
you
you.
on and then
Yeah,
and then it's up from there.
Have you looked into distribution deals at all instead of like actually signing with a label?
Nah, because I feel like right now I'm still just kind of building out myself, you know, like my own kind of brand.
Got you.
And I feel like that hasn't like really peaked yet or really even like taken off to the point where I want it to.
Yeah.
So I'm still just working on that. I feel like there's certain, yeah, you know, you can do a lot by yourself before needing to do all that. But
Yeah.
a lot of that's key. Like, yeah, if you can get the right money behind you, then like you can just push your stuff like crazy. Like even like you know, on like Spotify, like all those big artists, they like pay to have their album pop up, and it's like you get like a notification, like new album by
Yeah.
Drake.
Yeah.
Or like when you open it, it's like the first thing. It's called like a marquee, a Spotify marquee, and like basically like only labels and like big budget people can do these ads
Yeah.
because they're like thousands of dollars. And it's like that, like literally when you open the app, like your
It's the
thing
first
is
thing you
right
see,
there. Like, yo,
yeah.
that's crazy. Or even the one when you open the app and there's like that pop up one.
Yeah.
Like, yo, like, and it's like if you think about it, it's like, yo, Drake, the biggest artist in the world,
He's gonna do
is
that.
still doing that. So then, okay, that means everybody has to be doing it. If like this guy's still doing it, then that means okay, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if this guy's got 50 million listeners and he's still doing this, that means we all need to be doing this. And if
Yeah.
we're not doing that, then obviously we're not gonna be hitting those numbers. So
Yeah.
it's tricky, but the money's the hard part. That's why working the job was pretty blessed because I could just like funnel like some of that money into ads and music videos, and I didn't
Yeah.
worry too much about spending a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I quit, and it was like now my mind was like, oh, like okay, my money is just only depleting and not like increasing,
Yeah.
like you know, like on a consistent basis. I had to like really like refocus on where my money goes, but it makes you more like creative.
Yeah.
And it makes you more just tactical with like
Yeah.
with like where my money's going and how I should really be spending it instead of just throwing it at dumb things, just trying.
I think sometimes it is smart to throw your money at things like ads and stuff.
You
to
gotta
learn
try
how
them.
it works.
Yeah,
right?
you gotta try them because if you never tried them, then you never know like it doesn't work. And
Yeah.
then or hopefully you can just meet with artists who will just tell you like, yo, this one doesn't work. But
Yeah.
I
'Cause it's
definitely
always-
tried a lot of stuff like Spotify audio ad, bro. That stuff sucks, bro. Like their minimum to do a Spotify audio ad is like $250. So it's like just to test it, you have to put $250.
Fuck.
So I put $250, and it was not a good return on investment. Let me tell you that, you know.
Wow. I bet. Yeah, because I've done like YouTube ads like maybe like 5-6 years ago now,
Yeah,
and like it took a while before I started like seeing some like results from that.
yeah. And now a lot of
You
that
have to
stuff
dial
like,
that shit in, bro.
it's like a science, bro. Like I watched
Yeah.
like mad YouTube tutorials to learn how to do these ads.
and it's always
like,
changing
it's so
too.
complicated. Yeah, it's always changing. So these guys will upload new videos
Yeah,
like every month because like yo, there's a new change, new way to do it. They change the layout.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They just make it super tricky, bro.
What gives you hope?
That's a good question, bro. That's a really good question. You know, I have this line. Damn. I won't get too deep into that. But what gives me hope?
No. Come on, run it back. Give it to me. Give it
Okay.
to me.
Basically, like one time I took this like social psychology course, right?
Okay.
And they had this chapter on relationships. And basically what they said in the book was like the number one reason for why couples like ultimately like break up is because they no longer see a positive future with that relationship. Meaning like they no longer have visions in their head about positive, happy things that are to come, whether that be like places they can go, things they can do together, like just moments, having kids or wedding, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And like I took that and I was like, okay, that's cool. But I think like that same applies like to yourself, you know, and your relationship with yourself. Like when you no longer have positive things to look forward to in your own life, then you lose your relationship with yourself, which makes you depressed, sad, you know, anxious. And so why did I bring that up?
Because I asked you,
What gives me hope?
what gives you hope?
What gives me hope? And so like I definitely felt like that along you know, some years back where it's like because like the music wasn't going nowhere, I wasn't really interested in what I was doing with my schooling and all that, you know? So like I definitely didn't have the hope, and like to build that back, I had to like just start building up habits and like doing the work, and then like you know, I had to first motivate myself, my own like you got to kind of motivate yourself in whatever works for you, you know. Like for me, it's just like smoke some kush, you know, just get the job done. And then once you kind of get the ball rolling, then like that work will manifest into like returns, you know. And then as I started seeing like people interacting, like getting more fans, I was like, then the hope started coming back where it's like, okay, now it's like, okay, I see an outlook for where it's like, yo, I'm not like, I was bottomed out, but now like I'm back on the rise, you know?
Yeah.
And so then I just kept pushing, saying like, yo, like, I guess because like once I felt like what the low was, it was like now it's all up from here. So as I started just progressing, it was like, okay, like there's still hope to keep going up. And now it's the same ways. Now like I'm so into it, it's like there's hope for so many different things, like big shows I could do, big types of where my tracks could just blow up, you know, like just goals of just like traveling the world and like meeting different fans. Now I have fans in like India and stuff. Like I'm trying to like go out there in like Brazil, bro, see what's up out there. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You a big believer in like law of attraction, manifesting your words type stuff?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people believe in that kind of stuff, and they all like say it in different ways. There's like a famous book,
Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah, Think and Grow Rich, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, some people call it manifestation. In that book, he basically uses this term auto suggestion.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. The whole book is literally actually about manifestation, where he's like, yo, first you got to set a goal, and then with that intention in mind, you have to do like actionable steps to to actually accomplish that goal. That's like the one step that people forget, you know? It's like you can't just like, say like, yo, I want $1 million, I'm gonna have $1 million, and then you can't just keep saying that and like expect it just to like poof, you know?
Yeah,
The
exactly.
idea is like I'm gonna have $1 million, I'm gonna have $1 million, and then naturally you have to start doing things, and you will start doing things if you're really like focused on that, because then you're just gonna start aligning just your movements into that direction of accomplishing that goal, you know? And so I think that's just like a smart concept, you know, like whatever you want to like phrase it as, like manifestation or whatever, like that it's something to accept, because it's like it's the intention, and that sets your brain, you know, like our brains are super powerful, and you could think about like a million things at once, you know. It's like, where's your mind gonna go? And like you can do a million things, like we have so much freedom to just be whatever. You could like jump out this window right now if you wanted to, right?
Yeah.
But we choose not to, so it's like, what are you gonna choose to do, you know?
It's like you can't. You have to still sacrifice something, right? Because there's only so much time in the day. You can only
opportunity cost.
Opportunity cost.
Yeah, that's track 2. Our full circle. That's the title.
Exactly. So it's like you can't.
Time is money.
Exactly. So you can't do everything. You're gonna have to sacrifice.
You have to sacrifice
some things, right? You can't be. You can't be all million things that you want to be. So you do have to kind of like fine tune some things.
That's big facts. That's literally actually why I named that song "Opportunity Cost," because like that was the whole album's about time, and that's like a big concept that like time is like a resource, and it's like it's really more valuable than money, you know, like you can't get it back the same way you can money, and like however you spend it is like how it's spent, so you know you might as well spend it in beneficial ways to yourself, you know, your well-being.
I like that a lot.
You have any projects coming soon?
Yeah, so like I said, I have the Peel EP, the second one, Peel Volume 2, coming out in September, and the single will drop for that sometime soon.
Dope.
I mean, that's gonna be like the next drop, you know, and then after that, Peel Volume 3, and then just more shows, Brampton and Toronto this August, and I'm sure I'm gonna book some more shows, and then after that, I'm trying to maybe go back to the States, maybe try to go out to, you know, India or something, do some work out there, meet some artists, try to do some shows and stuff. So
Fire.
Gonna keep it pushing.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Toronto scene though, Toronto scene's sick. You know, I feel like there's different aspects of the scene. There's definitely like the more like famous scene, which is like obviously like the hood rap, gangster rap, trap scene.
Yeah.
And then there's stuff that like also gets kind of like pushed, like I was saying earlier, like more of the like not like industry rappers, but like the artists that are more like aligned that way. And then there's just like mad other like underground rappers, like other local scenes, and kind of coming up and doing a lot of these like open mics and events. I've like been to like so many different events and stuff that now whenever I like link with artists and like I connect with them, it's like, yo, we know like so many random people in common, you know, because like everyone's just out there like doing their thing. There's like 101 events going on like every day if you start looking for them.
Yeah.
And it's just about like just start going out to one that you know, and then slowly you're gonna start hearing about more and more. And the scene's growing, bro. It's like people are trying to like figure it out, connect this stuff.
Do you have any questions for us?
You guys both work out of the studio?
Yeah, so I've been here for 2 years. Mammoth started off as my intern last year. And Nate's now starting off as my second intern. But Mammoth's now transitioned to, you know, he's got his own set of keys. He's working on with his own clients and all that. So, you know, it's like
made it.
It feels good to like be able to like build someone up to that point.
Sick.
Super proud of him for being able to do that.
Yeah, he put me on to a lot. Yeah, and just kind of like just developing and growing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like working on my own projects and a remix project recently. So like that's helping out too, as well as kind of like developing.
You're in the
like,
remix project?
Yeah.
Okay, sick.
Yeah, as well as like kind of like developing like my own artist now. So
dope.
It's dope. Yeah. Let's tell them where we can find you at.
Yeah, you can find me at Spitty95, SPITTY95 on all social media.
Fire.
Post like 6 TikTok today if you want to see that, or Instagram if you don't want to see all that. And then just on all streaming platforms, just Spitty, SPITTY.
Dope. Yeah,
the distro kid, so just pushes it to all that, you know, keep it simple.
Yeah. Anything up coming in the horizon or?
Peel. When's this gonna drop?
Probably like a month, About a month or so.
A month. So in a month, maybe the single like for the Peel Volume 2 might have just dropped, or it'll drop soon. It's with Fame Holidays. It's me and him. It's like a little club track.
He's fire.
Yeah, and then it's like a Brampton Saga Connect, and then the rest of the EP would drop like a couple weeks after that. And then Peel Volume 3, Peel Volume 3 is gonna be bigger, more artists, and we're gonna have a little opportunity on there for like even artists I don't know to maybe hop on. We're gonna do a little cypher thing. Yeah.
Dope. We could actually get Fame on too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah, shout out Fame. He'd be down for sure.
Yeah.
He's sick. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to reach out to him. But yeah, thanks for coming on the podcast, bro. Appreciate you. Appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, got Matt McKeer
and Gravy Mixes, Sean Gray.
Dope. And that's the Behind the Sounds podcast.
Hey.
Get it.
The Behind the Sound podcast was recorded at the Orange Lounge Recording Studio, located downtown Toronto.